Another rewarding day in outer space. I wonder what tomorrow will bring. Oh, hello there.
Hello, do you read me? This is Communications Officer Sam Lambert, reporting from the USSFS station. Do you read me?
I should really figure out that this is the post-beacon relay. It's happened 3 nights in a row now. Let's see what it has printed out for us. Uh-oh. Definitely ripped it. Not sure I was supposed to do that. Let's see here in my now truncated document. Valued employee Samuel Lambert, welcome to night 3 of your rigorous psychological evaluation. Well, don't I feel special? You are once again live with the audience back on Earth. Hello there, everybody. I'll look in this little text box in a moment here. Your test last night passed with glowing colors. I knew I would. I love tests. Okay, let's see here. As promised, tonight is your night. What could that mean? It sounds like they're giving me a gimme, and this is going to be something that I enjoy a lot. The program is already loaded in the computer, and all I have to do is press a button, and we can see what it is. I'm so curious. It sounds like the evaluation tonight is passion. We'll see what that's about. Okay, folks. I'm going to just take a look here at the text box for all the messages streaming in from Earth. See how you are all doing before we start tonight's whatever's tonight. Let's see here. Oh, it looks like people copy. You're getting the signal loud and clear. That's right. I passed my personality test last night. I wonder how many people fail. Hello, Madeline Blaze, Sarah K, Love Kirby Forever, Charlie Johnson, Judas, Sarah Latch, Juno, Aaron N, Miso D. Oh, so many friends. Jamie Vestal, NB in Space, Trini T, Sarita Smith, Kate B. I may be repeating names at this point. Judas, Bluebird. Hello, everybody, and hello to everybody who might be watching this not live. Welcome to Lambert Week, Day 3. Okay, without further ado, I bring to you whatever command has in store for me tonight. Oh, I am not worthy. What is this? An unreleased edition of my favorite book in the world, in the universe. Oh my word. I get to read Price and Carter's Deep Space Survival Procedure and Protocol Manual, 4th edition, to a bunch of people? Oh my God. I can't believe it. Christmas has come early, everybody. Let's get started. What? Is this somebody else's copy? Who? Doug Eiffel. Who the hell is that? I'm confused. That's not a convincing... Anyway. Let's see what this is all about. My gosh. This is amazing. I've only had version 3 ever. Oh, it's the most hateful thing for a person to have too much knowledge and no power, don't I know it? Story of my life. All right, let's see here. whoever this character is, I don't like him already. Blah, blah, blah. Oh, congratulations on your assignment to a deep space outpost. Whether your stay is of a scientific, exploratory, or disciplinary nature, we hope you enjoy a peaceful, restive, minimal casualty residency in your spacecraft of choice. To maximize your chances of a successful return to Earth with all your limbs and faculties intact, please display a strict adherence to the following 1001 survival tips. Oh boy. I don't know about you guys, but I can't wait to get to the tips. Let's skip ahead and see what we can find. Oh, I don't know about you, but I like to go in order. So why don't we start with number 1. Always read the instructions before operating any piece of machinery. Deviating from this might result in the loss of valuable equipment, which could lead to heavy fines or death. Oh, this Eiffel character sounds like bad news. Gosh. Gotta protect the machinery. All right, number 2. Begin every day with a few minutes of exercise. Isometric exercises are no harder to do in zero gravity than they are on Earth, and just as rewarding. Do you know what isometric exercise is? Because you should. It's where you pull and you hold and you strain your muscles in a static way. It's what Bruce Lee did to get really strong, and it's why I am so strong as well, because I begin every day with tip number 2. Number 3. Spacewalks are a serious matter. I have to read it seriously so Command knows that I'm serious, Sam. They are very delicate operations filled with hazards, so only use them as a source of amusement if you're really bored. Okay, that sounds good. I've never done it because I've either been so close to imminent death that I've needed to focus on the task at hand, or I've been engrossed in my very engrossing work that I am actually passionate and interested in. Number 4, conserve your oxygen. Even in environments with an air recycling system, oxygen can be limited. So keep your breathing at a slow, steady pace. Remain calm. Failing to remain calm could result in your grisly, gruesome death. So whatever you do, do not panic. Panicking will only serve to accelerate your oxygen consumption and make your already likely demise a certainty. Oh boy, if you want to avoid dying painfully, alone, in the cold darkness of space, grasping desperately as freezing oblivion silences your pathetic hopes and dreams. Relax. I have trouble with this one sometimes. I'll be honest. Let's see here. Number 5, remain positive at all times. Maintain a cheerful attitude, even in the face of adversity. Remember, when you're smiling, the whole world smiles with you. But when you're crying, you're in violation of fleet-wide morale codes and should report to your superior officer for disciplinary action. Okay, this is one place where I agree with this Doug guy. That is kind of scary. As a sentimental man. Gotta hold it in. Gotta hold it in, Sam. Number 6, be mindful of your personal hygiene. Begin every day with a shower, and remember to brush your teeth at least 4 times a day. Everybody but Selberg. Man, my crew could really use this book, you know? Okay, let's see here. Number 7. Flossing is optional, though. You have bigger things to worry about. Optional doesn't mean that you don't have to do it 4 times a day also, which is what I do. Why I'm so clean. Okay. Number 8. Magnetic boots, mooring tethers, and propulsion maneuvering units are strongly recommended for any and all extravehicular activities. There may, however, be tasks during which these safety measures prove to be counterproductive, ineffectual, dreary, distracting, and or damaging to your reputation. Evaluate on a case-by-case basis. Now, this is a thinking man's tip, because you'd think you'd always want safety equipment when going into the very dangerous environment of outer space. I have not yet run into a situation where my reputation would be on the line for not following these procedures. So I have yet to come on the side in my evaluating on a case-by-case basis of not doing the very sane thing of being safe in outer space. But Price and Carter, they know what's up. I think about this one often. Number 9. When knowledge and ability aren't enough, rely on persistence and stimulants. Oh God, there was this one time, like 3 days ago, where I had a 48-hour shift. Ugh, that algae coffee. I wish I could say it got old, but it's too gross. But it definitely keeps you up. Number 10. The goal of survival is to stay alive until you reach help or help reaches you. Part of your response to any emergency situation should be to assess which is more likely on a logistical, psychological, and metaphysical level. This has been a challenge for me. I'm not much of a believer in things that I can't see, so remembering to take the metaphysical into account is not in my nature, but it is something that reading this book frequently forces me to remember, which is why I highly recommend weekly readings of your DSPPM. Tip number 11. Patience is a virtue. Manners maketh the man. Do they not? Cleanliness is godliness. Then call me your lord. Death is not impressed by any of them. Yeah, that one's a downer. Good to remember, though. Keeps you grounded. Whoops. Glitch. Wrong button. Change from mental activity to physical activity, or vice versa, can be an effective way to trick yourself into doing more work. Oh, boy. That is what I do. It's so helpful to see things written down explicitly that you've just learned to do intuitively. That's why I'm going to run a marathon after this. Number 13. If you can't be hopeful about something, try making a bet. It will at least get you invested. Huh. Well, I bet that I leave this station 100% alive. I bet my life. That can only end well. Number 14. Free your mind. Allow it to wander into parts unknown and to discover the uncharted lands beyond the horizon. This sounds like a fortune cookie. Some of them do that, you know? Let's see here. Number 15. Just be ready to bring it back as soon as it's time for your performance review. They have such a good sense of humor sometimes. Gosh. Number 16. If it's stupid but it works, It isn't stupid. Which I have to remind myself when things work out, even though my crew makes no sense and has no logic and doesn't plan well. I guess they're not stupid. Anywho, number 17. Remember, if you have to ask, then the answer is no. You did not just see that, and no, it does not concern you. Huh. Hilbert says that a lot when I walk by his lab and wonder what the... never mind. Number 18. Getting out of a tricky situation requires a sound and rational approach. Totally me. If you are not thinking clearly, you will not be able to make decisions that will probably save your life, like I always say. So, the first step in any scenario is to think right. Are you thinking right? Could you tell if you weren't? Is this a trick question? The answer is yes and no. Think about it. Number 19. Unless you're on a rotational axis, what goes up doesn't always come down. Oh, boy, is that a fact. Zero gravity is a real doozy, folks. Verify the stability of your surroundings and get the functionality of your gear before undertaking any advanced maneuvers, especially ones on the exterior of the station. Remember the rhyme, crew members who prepare, keep breathing air. That's such a useful rhyme. Let's see here. Number 20. If at first you don't succeed, isolate all the possible points of failure and eliminate them. I wish I could. 21. Be sure to complete your assigned duties and station maintenance tasks before worrying about anything and everything else. I do, and then I worry because, well, everybody gets in my way. All right, number 22. Explosives, like most things, are best in moderation, especially in the delicate environment of long-term space flight. Proceed with caution. I'm more of a abstinence first person when it comes to explosives in space, but moderation has its place. Number 23. Restrain yourself to using only the minimum amount of resources that are absolutely necessary to accomplish a day's work. Reduce, reuse, ration. Hunger is only a feeling. I try to remind myself this every night. "24. Don't pick at that." This actually really helped me with a dermatological problem that I probably shouldn't talk about in public. 25. Mind over matter, especially dark matter. This is another one of those head scratchers. I'm going to keep my mind over this one, if you know what I mean. Number 26. You've accepted a job you can't walk away from. Remember that before attempting to storm out of an airlock. Yeah. I won't say that hasn't saved me from spacing myself at least once in my time here. Thanks, Price and Carter. 27. Everyone dies. 82.3%. The precision. It really lights a fire. Of crew members who remind themselves of this fact, or at least five times a day, panic and get more done. So here's a pro tip, everybody. So this is how we do it in the pros. You need to put it on your mirror, so every time you go to brush your teeth, you read it, and then you're done 4 times. You've knocked out 4 times, and you just have to do one more. Where are you going to put that one more? You got to anchor it somewhere? Where are you going to anchor it? On your isometric workout band. Haha, that's 5 times. You don't have to think about it. Set it and forget it. That one's free, everybody. 28. In a high-risk environment, act as though you were a small child. Small. Very small. Eat well. Take naps. Don't let yourself say mean things and constantly demand attention from those who are supposed to be looking out for you. Now, I've tried this. I've only been slapped upside the head 80% of the time that I go, Commander, 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 when I don't get attention from the commander to say something important. So just be ready for a head slap. You know, just be ready. 29. A hot potato. A hot potato is just that. A hot potato. The kitchen is no place to play games. I like the seriousness of this one. It's very direct. I think, metaphorically, you can also apply it to not horsing around in a tin can outside of which organic life can't survive. There are layers here, like ogres or parfait. 30. Have some class. Hygiene helps here. Some of these really, they stack, they layer, like an ogre or an onion. 31. If you don't prioritize, you're just going to have huge problems. You're going to have huge problems. That's true. So, just remember the important things in life. Air, water, heat, feelings of comfortable superiority to others, food, personal fulfillment. Wow, this is really reminding me how much more competent I feel than everybody and how much that helps me sleep at night. Huh. Price and Carter, the gift that keeps on giving. Okay, let's see here. 32. When in doubt, remember, today is your day. You're off to great places. You're off and away. Sorry, I get carried away at that one. Oh, good old 32. 33. Repeat the above as necessary to resolve any emotional, psychological, or spiritual distress. Hey, 1 time's a charm for me. Let's see here. 34. Never make the same mistake twice. Have your mistakes peer-reviewed by up to 6 leaders in your field. Just be sure that they're actually mistakes. I made a mistake here and gave somebody a problem. Not a mistake. That was the last time I made that mistake. I brought that mistake to somebody, and 6 people, and they helped me, 6 leaders. It was a good time. Very insightful. 35. Objects are defined by certain attributes. Any new objects defined in terms of old ones inherit all their attributes. That's why titles are important. I'm not sure I follow this one. But you know what? It's not in Price and Carter's Guide that you need to understand Price and Carter's Guide. You just need to read and be familiar with Price and Carter's Space Tips. 36. Evolutionarily speaking, you are always looking for trouble. Huh. Never looked at it that way. Well, and since the last time I read this last week. But, you know, before I got the book, that hadn't occurred to me. It's interesting. Number 37. You can only do so much about lag time. Yeah, I tried to do more. Didn't work out. All right, let's see here. 38. They already know what a taste of their own medicine tastes like. It's theirs. Develop new, more effective medicines to keep them from being so mean to you next time. I've tried so many medicines, but Commander really won't lay off. She really thinks I've got a stick up my butt or something. I wonder what medicine I could feed her. Metaphorically or literally. That would make her lay off a bit. I think the technical term is a chill pill, but I'm not sure we have those in stock. Note to self. Ask Dr. Selberg for chill pills. Okay. Moving on. 39. Don't be intimidated by how many things you'll miss that your AI autopilot will notice. Remember, your brain chooses to ignore seeing your nose most of the time. We can't program you to have perfect situational awareness, so we created something that could. Oh, that's a great idea. Hey, Rhea. Yeah, Rhea. I need you to remind me to ask Dr. Selberg if he has any chill pills that we can give to the commander so she'll lay off a bit. Thank you. Okay, great. Number 40. A running head start will not work in outer space. Just imagine any of your classic cartoons like, Wile E. Coyote trying to run in zero gravity and just floating impotently in space, just awkwardly and maybe nauseatingly spinning. It's almost funny unless you're in the room, and then it's smelly when the vomit. Anyway. Number 40. In the event of a fire, please yell fire to engage the sprinkler system. I'm not saying, no, Rhea, don't. Okay. Even if the fire happens to take place in a crowded theater. I'm not sure how any part of the station would be considered a theater, or if there were any of them, would be crowded. But hey, who knows? This is for space, not just for this space station. Okay. 42. In case the sprinkler system does not engage immediately, remember that you signed away your rights to sue us or any of our subsidiaries. Ay, ay, ay. I knew that the moment I signed it, but space was a dream. And I'm living my dream, which has unfortunately turned out to mostly be a nightmare. But I can't leave, so I'm going to make the most of it. With 43, looking for the upside only makes sense when you know for sure which way is up, which you can't in zero gravity. Can you? That's a deeper tip than I realized. Oh boy. Okay, next. Let's see here. 44. Wishing things into existence is a terrible strategy for mission-critical objectives. Okay. That's why I don't wish. 45. Always let your superior have the last word. Well, I try. Lord, do I try. But sometimes a correction is necessary. I can't believe I've broken a Price and Carter rule. I'm going to have to work on this one. Okay, let's see. What does 46 have for us? Let's see here. 46. Do not store anything in the air vents you do not want to breathe. I'm sorry. Who's storing anything in the air vents? I realize this is for a lot of different types of people. We don't know. I'm glad I'd rather this be here and not need it than to need it and not have it, if you know what I'm saying. Somebody leaves their stinky socks in the... Anyway, 47. It's never too late to ruin your life forever. Boy, do I know it. I avoid it on a weekly basis. Alrighty then. This is a juicy page. Little short ones. 48. Always use the right tool for the job. 49. The right tool is always a hammer. 50. Anything can be used as a hammer. I remember the time that I fixed the pulse beacon relay with this here microphone. This tip saved the day. I just hammered away until it worked. And that's how we do it in the pros. 51. The station's intercom system is not intended for the dispatch of entertainment programs. Limit yourself to authorized announcements only. If only the commander... I know she's read the book. I've seen her copy. It's clearly thumbed through. It's the application that counts. And her antics on the loudspeaker system are not appreciated by everyone on the station. Anyway, 52. Direct pressure is the most effective way to stop external bleeding. I unfortunately am all too aware of this, as I have been shot more than once in target practice. I don't recommend it. I do recommend direct pressure to bullet wounds. It helps. I mean, better to avoid it entirely is all I'm saying. Number 53. Peer pressure is the most effective way to stop any and all horsing around. Somebody needs to teach me how to peer pressure then, because there is 1,000% too much horse in this around. 54. Fire safety comes down to being just a little better at putting out fires than you are at setting them. Fire safety comes down to being a little better at putting out fires. Yeah, I mean, that says a lot about life, doesn't it? You just have to be a little better at living than dying. To answer the question of who shot me, it's embarrassing, but it was me. It was user error, which is why I've gotten so good at using them and have an impeccable, historically known for my impeccable shot, because nobody's ever going to catch me unguarded again. The safety makes a big difference, folks. Don't fuck around with firearms you don't understand. Oh, I said a bad word. They bring back traumatic memories. Okay, let's see here. Number 52. Wait. We were here. There we go. 55. A thank you note means more than you think it does. Huh. I should really think about that one. When was the last time I wrote a thank you note? Ay. I gotta work on this life. Every time that Commander Lovelace listens to me, I could have sent her a thank you note, which would have, in some way, conditioned her, hopefully, to repeat that behavior. Knowing her, it might annoy her, but it's worth a shot. I'll have to think about that one. Okay, 56. The divide between fun and mandatory fun is not as wide as you think it is. I'm so glad we've had no mandatory fun so far. I always wonder what mandatory fun would be. Who is this? Who does this on their If you were to see my manual, all you would see are respectful highlights. Yes, every line is highlighted, but they're in different colors. They mean different things. 57. Sometimes less is more, except for all the times more is more. This one's one of my favorite. I just wish that we had some sort of a radar, some device that I could perhaps wear as goggles that would show me in real time when less is more and when more is more. Because so many times I think I know the answer, And so many times, I'm just wrong. Number 58. Since the advent of AI autopilots, we no longer need you to conserve power. Lights will turn off when you're not using them. Power will be withheld from the comm system during sleep cycles, and your living quarters life support system will be disconnected from the station's electrical grid in the case of your death. That's just efficiency. There's no shade there. That's just good engineering. Unless the sensor grid goes down and mistakes your living body for a dead one. That could be problematic. But, well, I really don't trust the maintenance on this station. Okay, sleeping just got a whole lot harder. Moving on. Number 59. I love number 59 because it's almost 359, which is the star that anyway. It's surprising how often satisfaction and productivity rest on the development of a secret code for everything you resent about your job. So, like, when I say, I love management on this station, I could really be jokingly saying, in secret, that I don't? That is surprisingly satisfactory. I wonder how it would help with my productivity. I'll have to report back on that one. Okay, let's see here. 60. Oh, right. This one is intentionally left blank. It's always been a mystery. Sometimes I'll lose hours on tip 60, staring into the abyss of this white, empty page, wondering what intention, what will in this universe left this page so blank. Number 61. You never know when you'll need to rely on your team. Be the kind of crewmate others would follow anywhere, even if only out of curiosity. Okay, this is one I've definitely hands down failed on. Nobody in this crew is going to follow me anywhere. I guess Rhea might, technically, because Rhea can't not track anything that is on the station and moving with a pulse, especially that has an agreement of employment with Goddard Futuristic. So, I guess I haven't totally failed. Technicalities. You are my salvation. 62. Different people perform better under different supervisory circumstances, and it's important to know which environment best suits your supervisory skills. Fortunately, every possible environment can be found on board your space station, so no excuses. I wish that Price and Carter had had 15 minutes with Commander Lovelace. Anyway, moving on. 63. If you have to choose, it's preferable to be technically sound and socially terrible. I did state in the test yesterday that I'd rather work with a competent person than a nice one. Price and Carter, you truly follow after my own heart. All right, let's see here. 64. All sports are organized. There are no unorganized sports. Organized sports is redundant. This is just something that the world needs to know. I'm not sure what it has to do with surviving in space. But hey, there's 1,001 of these things. Some of them have got to be off base, off sports. Number 65. No sudden movements. I actually follow this one to a T. I never move suddenly. When I'm moving around the station, I move as slowly as I can without going too slow that I will be late. It takes a lot of forethought, planning ahead, and setting of alarms. But I do it. And I do it for the tips. 66. Real courage takes strength. That's why we recommend a high-protein diet. I pride myself on my high-protein diet. Unfortunately, that protein is mostly grasshoppers, but it is high protein, and protein is protein even if it's bugs. 67. Pleasure is the enemy of joy. Make sure you pick a side. Oh, that sounds threatening. Good thing I'm afraid of both. I much prefer neurosis, second guessing, and double checking to pleasure or joy. It's just what I know. All right, let's see here. There are limits to what the human body can take in any period of time. Please be mindful that you do not overwork yourself. I should really take a break sometimes. I work myself so hard. I'm so grateful to Command for this crazy series of tests. I mean, I would never have thought about this tonight, about how much I overwork myself. I should really... Maybe I won't run that marathon tonight. On the treadmill, because we can't run in space except if it's on treadmills. Well, I'll always get something out of Price and Carter. 69. Unless you have explicit orders to do so. I'll keep that in mind. I have not yet received a single order to overwork myself. Mostly, that's just on me. Number 70. You are the result of 3.8 billion years of evolutionary success. Start acting like it. This is one of the most motivating quotes. I was thinking about getting this tattooed in reverse on my chest so that when I get out of the shower in the morning, I would just see this in the mirror every day. But I'm afraid of needles. Number 71. With enough effort, most objects can be sharpened. Why do I feel like this relates to the hammer tip, where every problem can be solved with the right tool, and the right tool is always a hammer? Because if you can sharpen a hammer can be more than a hammer. A hammer can be sharp, which makes it solve other problems. Somewhere, I wonder where that breaks down. Anyway, number 72. Without gravitational friction, the only thing you can really lean into is the walls of your station. This usually results in painful bruising, which is why we've installed all the padding. I forget this one, but I do appreciate that padding. 73. You can change your name, but only we can change your rank. That's healthy to remember. And I'm happy in my rank as communications officer, and I don't need any more responsibility around here. Although I would run a much tighter ship. And I dream about it sometimes. Okie dokie, 74. There is a wrong way to eat an Oreo. A very, very wrong way. Experiment at your own risk. This gave me nightmares for months the first time I read it. It's harrowing to think about. But I woke up, and I felt heavy and strange, like lightheaded, and I walked over to a mirror, and I wasn't me. I was an Oreo. But not only wasn't I an Oreo, I had something around my mouth. And it looked suspiciously like a different Oreo. The rest of the dream was just barfing up more Oreo. It was a lot of Oreo. I woke up quite soon after that and failed to sleep for several weeks. Tip 74. You give me heebie-jeebies. 75. Get your AI to fix it, and it's fixed for now. Learn to fix it yourself, and you've wasted all the time you could have saved by getting your automated system to do it for you. This is a new one. This is a new edition, because, frankly, I love you, Rhea, but there's only so much that Rhea can fix when it comes to the comms equipment. I'm more of a do-it-yourself Lambert than a hope for underdeveloped AI to do it for me. Remember, self-improvement is not one of the mission parameters. Well, duly noted. I've definitely had to do a lot in spite of that. All right, let's see here. Number 67. Restrict all flatulence to the latrines. Boy, do I ever. I actually have this patent that I've been working on. It's a special space underwear. It's basically a diaper for farts. Let's just say every day I've spent in the engine room, I've thought about it. Number 77. Make sure you're very familiar with the layout of your station. No part should remain a mystery. Well, maybe one part. It's exciting to have something to discover. There's this weird door in engineering. I've never gone into it. It has a very enigmatic sign on the window. Anyway, it's my mystery. Look, Fisher is a smelly man, and I think that he should wear my fart pants. Number 78. Prepositions matter. Master the difference between get on, get to it, and get with it. Proper nouns are negligible. Number 79. Climb every mountain, ford every stream, harrison every ford, but don't trust that the walls of this ship will be enough to save you during a solar flare. That's because they are mostly metal and slight padding. I do smile every time I read Harrison Every Ford. Mostly because he's very handsome, but also because it doesn't make any sense. 80. Conservation now alleviates hard choices later. That is the essence of conservatism. And that actually makes sense. 81. Life is like a box of chocolates. What a lovely movie. Space is like an empty void. This one's bleak. But it has a sort of poetry to it. And it also reminds me of that movie with all the running. Number 82. The best things in life are free. This is not true of space travel. The best things in space travel are as expensive as they need to be to withstand extreme conditions, and thank God for that. What is this drawing? 83. Actions speak louder than words. Mysterious accidents speak louder than actions. Nothing speaks in outer space. Man, I would not want to be on the wrong side of Price and Carter. I'm just going to say that. Come out right now and let that be on the record. Anyway, what's on the next... Whoa! Oh, jeez. What is going on here? Why is there... Oh, speaking relay coming through. Let's see what we got. Your passion is contagious. Contagious. Valued employee Samuel Lambert. Well, thank you. Thank you for giving me such a... This really was a gimme. I get it now. Okay. You have about 9 to 10 minutes before the end of your broadcast. There will be some questions in the text box. So I guess if anybody has text box questions, you put them in the text box. I will address those shortly. You have time for 3 more tips and then some questions, and then you're off the broadcast for the rest of the evening. And then we'll be back tomorrow at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard. And then on Friday, we will be broadcasting at a special time in the morning Eastern Standard, to be determined, that is a little bit more friendly with GMT for folks in the UK and in that time zone across the pond. That's going to happen. That's a thing. Okay. Very, very nice. Thank you, Command. Let's take a look here at these last few tips, and then I will go to the text box. I guess if you watching out there, hello, you have any questions about being an astronaut, or about Price and Carter, or about, I don't know, fart pants, you can, TM, you can leave them in the chat. Number 84, no work is ever wasted. Except for all the times that I've fixed the comms just to have it fall apart again. But my Sisyphean adventure, I choose to enjoy, or at least not despise. Okay, accept yourself as you are, warts and all, unless, of course, you have literal warts. The face is one of the most prominent potential sites of infection, and you should really report to medical to have that checked immediately. That is very important. Oh, this is a heck of a tip to end on, everybody. But 86, the only unfair fight is the one that you lose. And I'm so glad that we clearly, demonstrably won this fight tonight, which wasn't a fight at all. It was really a love fest, because it's my favorite book in the whole wide universe. And if I ever meet this Doug Eiffel character, I'm going to seriously question his sanity, because he seems to be a little bit of a mess and not really jive with the rules. Anyway, Jamie Vestal asks, have you ever met Marcus Cutter? I have not met Marcus Cutter, but I have heard just enough to be thoroughly terrified. Even though I'm 7.8 light years away from the man right now, I worry about his presence the way some people worry about the Grim Reaper. The difference being that Marcus Cutter is very real and controls my accounts payable. Liv A asks, are there any Mamma Mia fans on the Hephaestus? That's a good question. I wouldn't be surprised if it's something in Dear Commander's lexicon. However, I have very, very pointedly avoided further conversations about musicals after I was forced to sing the chorus of The Music Man more than once in the mess hall for everybody. It was very embarrassing for me. The devil Beelzebub puts aside for you asks, have you found a mysterious box labeled with your name? What sort of a box? Like a shoebox? I mean, I have a little box of photographs I brought with me that I put my name on. That's a little box that I have. I'm not sure what box you could possibly mean. Anyway, it's weird that you know about my photo box. Envy in Space. Second fave book? Huh. That's a really good question, Envy in Space. Let's see here. I think it's a toss-up between War and Peace and literature for dummies. There's just something so je ne sais quoi about the For Dummies series, and it really helped me appreciate literature on a fundamental level. S. Writing asks, what's the best way to eat grasshoppers? I'm so glad that you asked. The answer is as processed as possible. Unlike any other food which you would want to eat whole for health reasons, the thing about eating grasshoppers processed is you forget you're eating grasshoppers, which, let's be honest, grasshoppers, not the worst thing to eat. Also, if you're not maybe somebody who grew up eating them, not the thing you look forward to the most. They're kind of like popcorn. They're also kind of like cockroaches. So anyway, my tip is that you grind them up into a fine dust, and then it works exactly like flour. You can make bread. You can make other kinds of bread. It's super useful. You can use it in smoothies. There's all sorts of things you can do with cricket flour. The problem with the bread is because of the protein content, it's much more likely to get bacterial infections, so you do have to eat it sooner or refrigerate it, but it has a nice nutty flavor to it. The more you know. Miso D asks, do you like Elton John? Heart. And my answer to that is, do I not look to be made of flesh and blood? And am I not a rocket man? I'm not sure that please is a complete question. Favorite Charlie Johnson asks, favorite fruit? This is so hard to choose from. I would probably, it's a toss-up between a banana and a raspberry. The raspberry for its tartness and deliciousness and refreshingness. But I think the banana wins out for the practicality of being a complete food in that it has so many more nutrients in it that the body needs. It's better than Gatorade, folks. And it comes in its own protective barrier, so you can put it in a bag and not worry about it. Whereas if you put a raspberry in a bag, it's not so good for the contents of your bag, and it's terrible for that raspberry, which you won't really get to enjoy unless you're sucking it off of all the things that it's stained in your bag. Don't put raspberries in a bag like a banana. This is the important lesson from this question. Oh, Dramatic Wolf, you ask a very good question. This will be the last question of the evening. Dramatic Wolf. Very good username. Fitting for Wolf359. That's that star out there. Let's see here. Post-mission plans. Oh boy, well, I think the first thing that I would want to do is take a shower with water that hasn't been recirculated through everybody else's showers and poops. Then the second thing that I would want to do is search the internet for any and all communications technology advancements that have been made since we've been off Earth. Thanks to relativistic spaceflight, it's been many years since I've left, and much has happened that I have no knowledge about, so that would be very exciting for me. But that's work stuff. I think for personal stuff, I would probably go to Radio Shack and see what new toys I could get that are also sort of work-related. Let's see here. Oh, boy. I guess I would just work on Earth in gravity, and that would be nice for me. Well then, everybody, this has been absolutely delightful. My favorite night so far, frankly. They just keep getting better and better. Oh boy, I'm a little bit nervous that it can only go downhill from here, so I guess I'll be back tomorrow night at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard right here on some guy named Zach Valenti's YouTube channel. I don't know. Maybe they have a limited budget. Who knows? In the meantime, I'm going to say goodnight. I'm going to go not run a marathon because I overwork myself. I'm going to run a half marathon and take it easy for the rest of the night. And then I will be back here tomorrow. Until then, this is Samuel Lambert, unreporting for this duty because it's complete. Thank you, everybody.